Half Moon Run. Amazing to have you.
Great to be
here in the kitchen. I have to start off when I sent Michael, who's on your team, a note about, okay, what do you want for, what would some of your like dream pizza toppings be? I got quite a list.
We're about to get roasted.
I got quite a list. Burrata, wild mushroom mix, pepperoni, but grass-fed and preservative-free, and white Italian truffle.
It was a test.
It was a test. Okay. I was gonna say either you've got a really good sense of humor or like super expensive tastes that aren't on the CBC budget. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
So I wasn't able to get your white truffle. I'm sorry, but we've got a few things here. Do you feel like getting your hands dirty? So. How do you eat on the road? Are you do you eat well as you travel?
Oh, it depends where you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the go-to road foods that you go for?
Oh man, like
a lot of times there's a nice grocery store.
Yeah.
Like Whole Foods. Then you can get a good meal.
Okay. Yeah, and then it's just like keep that in the bus because you're sleeping in a bus. You're traveling in the bus, right?
Yeah.
What's bus life like?
It's better than van life.
Yeah.
Gone are the days when you set your alarm after your day is done and it says 45 minutes until your alarm goes off, and then you can get up and drive 10 hours and then live a show.
You've got a driver.
We have a bus driver and he's professional and he drives all night, we sleep all night.
Amazing.
And he sleeps all day.
He sleeps all day?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really cool way to do it. So how do you sleep on a van, in a bus? Can you pull it off?
Very well. I feel like a baby getting rocked to sleep.
why don't you toss it in the air?
As we cook here, let's talk about your touring style, because here's something I find really interesting about you guys. You're multi-instrumentalists. And so when you are on the road and you're not recording in a studio, how are you able to pull off playing all the instruments that you would have layered on in studio during an album recording?
Basically, these guys do the same thing they always do, and they ask me if I can just cover the rest.
Okay. So break that down for me. What are you all playing up on stage?
I'm singing and playing guitar, mostly a bit of drums here and there.
Okay. Devin.
I sing, play guitar, play keyboards, harmonica. I'll multitask on the keyboards here and there. And then Dill does, like you said, the rest.
The rest. So what's the rest? What's up on stage?
Well, drums, bass, keys, sometimes 2 keys parts, background vocals.
Okay, Dill's already playing, he's playing bass on a keyboard with one hand, and then drumming and singing, but there's a high synth part that we need to get in there. He'll transpose the part so that it fits in the same hand as his bass line. So it's on a MIDI keyboard, and then he's been playing in 2 different keys. The bass part, I'm speaking for you though,
Yeah.
but the bass part and the upper key part will be, like if I was playing an E, like it would actually be a G, because, and then while the other note in the bass line would be in the original key.
So it's assign buttons on the keyboard to do other things.
Wow.
Pads or synth hits or stuff.
But that is a lot to keep going.
And it goes on and on, like a clap trigger with his foot, and actually like a snare drum with the foot that triggers a pulley system.
We call it the heel snare.
So is this stuff that you developed yourself, or are there actual systems that are pre-established that you can use?
No, a lot of it was like after we finished the record and we're thinking about how to do it live, I created like a list of problems to solve for each song. And sometimes it's like there are 2 drum sets in this song. How can we reduce it to 1? And then the other question is, how do we get this bass part and this synth part at the same time? And sometimes each individual problem was a full day's work to try and figure out. We try to sort of brute force different ideas. Some work, some don't. Guys come back in, we try it together, say that sounds horrible, and then I try it again.
Where engineering meets music, eh?
Yeah.
As a group that does so much in terms of unique approaches to your music and trying to push what you can do as a trio, Devin, do you prefer being in studio and having that kind of flexibility of studio space, or just embracing trying to MacGyver it and get all clever out on the road? What's your preference?
I think for everything there's a season. It's fun to do studio, and then at some point it's like, okay, let's let's live in that. You know, songwriting has a great moment where you're so free creatively, and then then studio is kind of like codifying that freedom process, and that's like a technical approach, but also creative. And then the road is like another experience of being very present in the performance moment. But 3 different like silos, and it's nice to switch between them.
Okay.
Seasonal. Yeah.
Do you have a preference?
No, they just it's something you look forward to going into one, and then after a while you get tired of it and you want to move on to the next season.
Okay, yeah. The seasons of musical creation.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of talking about it. When we talk about your latest album, Salt, it's something that you decided to do with this album was to revisit things that you had done together in the past, songs you'd written in the past, and just sort of reimagine it with where you are now as a musical group. Why go that route? Why was that something you wanted to do?
Well, we've been a band for 13 years, and so the catalog of ideas that we have from over the years is vast, and some of it is forgotten, and a lot of it also has this aspect where the reason that it didn't become a fully fledged idea was because it wasn't because the idea wasn't good enough, it's because we might have had a shortcoming in our perspective, or just that we had a producer that really helped us see value in things that we had done before, essentially. We had a lot of new material that we were going to bring to this new record, but the producer that we worked with he was just like, send me everything you've ever done. And so it was an amalgam of new stuff and old stuff in that regard.
Okay, and when you started going down the path of stuff that you had previously made before, what did you discover, Dylan, about the way that you as a group have evolved, changed, approach a song that you'd written years ago in a new way?
Well, it's great to kind of see these old tunes resurface and have a new perspective on it. Like, in a way, to kind of see a tune in the past and be like, it's not good enough, or it didn't work. But then for it to resurface and feel like kind of fresh in a different way, because we've all changed as people, or our view on music and how to approach an arrangement or a song have changed. Also, what we're capable of doing in studio and as performers, it all changes. And then you kind of realize these old songs are kind of like a gift to your future selves. Like we did this great thing back in the past, but we just couldn't quite get it right back then. But it doesn't mean it was a bad idea.
In 2009, 2010, so then we're in our early 20s. There's just a way that you approach songwriting that is different in your early 20s. There's a freshness, like a naivety that's good, and then when you get older, you gain some things, but you lose some of that. But then to go back and to realize, wait a minute, like I can get away with kind of collaborating with my past self here, and it's almost like stealing, It's almost like stealing from your past self. But of course, it's allowed,
That's so interesting. So I do want to talk about your drum beats, and actually, we should say, so my son's a drummer, and so I brought his drum kit up from our basement and put it up here in the kitchen as well. So can we have you hit the kit here? And have you explain some of what you do?
Sure. Well, we could demo how 9-beat came about here.
Yeah. So 9-beat's one of the songs that's on the latest album.
Deb started playing this pattern on a tom. Trying to figure out what is going on. And I kept counting what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, Deb, that beat is in 9.
How have people reacted to it?
I think really, really well. I think it's one of our strongest on the record.
Yeah. It's on in this kitchen a lot. So I tell you, it's funny. It's pretty wild to have it happening in real time right here. You know what we're doing? We're neglecting the pizza over here.
That's right.
We should throw some pizza in the oven.